In a bustling city there was a railway station where a poor man lived. He survived each day by begging from the passengers who came and went on the trains that stopped there. This was his only way to stay alive. One day, while asking people for help, the beggar noticed a tall, well-dressed man standing on the platform. The beggar thought to himself, "This man looks very wealthy. If I ask him, he might give me a good amount." He quickly went to the man and began to beg. The gentleman looked at him and said calmly, "You are always asking others for help, but have you ever given anything to anyone?" The beggar was puzzled and replied, "Sir, I am just a poor beggar. I have nothing to give. How can I possibly offer anything to others?" The man responded, "If you cannot give, then you have no right to ask. I am a businessman, and I believe in give and take. If you bring me something of value, then I will give you something in return." After saying this, the man boarded his train and left. The beggar sat there, thinking deeply about what the man had said. Those words struck a chord in his heart. He wondered, maybe the reason I don't receive much is because I've never given anything in return. But another question troubled him. What could a beggar like me possibly give to others? For 2 days he thought and thought, but couldn't find an answer. On the 3rd day, as he sat near the station, he noticed some beautiful flowers blooming nearby. An idea suddenly came to him. Why don't I give flowers to the people who give me money as a way of thanking them? Excited by this idea, he picked a few flowers and went to beg on the train. Whenever someone gave him money, he smiled and handed them a flower in return. The passengers were pleasantly surprised by this gesture and kept the flowers happily. From that day onward, the beggar began plucking fresh flowers every morning to give to anyone who gave him alms. Soon he noticed something interesting. More people started giving him money because they appreciated receiving something back. But on the days when he ran out of flowers early, far fewer people gave him anything. This made him realize the power of giving before receiving. One day, while the beggar was working on the train, he saw the same tall gentleman who had inspired him. The beggar rushed to him and said with excitement, "Sir, today I have something to offer you. Please accept this flower in return for your kindness." The man smiled, gave him some money, and accepted the flower. He said warmly, "Wonderful. You've truly become a businessman just like me." These words deeply touched the beggar once again. At that moment he realized that the key to changing his life was already in his hands. As the train left, he stepped off the platform, looked up at the sky and shouted, "I am no longer a beggar. I am a businessman. I will grow, I will succeed, and I will build my future." The people nearby thought he had lost his mind, but the beggar was filled with determination. 6 months later, half a year later, 2 well-dressed men were traveling through the same station. One of them recognized the other and extended his hand for a handshake. "Do you remember me?" asked the first man. The second man looked confused and replied, "No, I don't think we've met before." The first man smiled and said, "Oh, we've met twice. The first time, you refused to give me any money. The second time, you bought flowers from me." The second man was shocked. "You were the beggar on this platform. But today you're dressed so well. What are you doing now?" The first man proudly replied, "Yes, I was once a beggar, but today I am a successful flower merchant. I'm traveling to another city to expand my business." He continued, "You taught me one of the greatest lessons in life. We only receive when we give. I realized that people weren't giving me money out of pity. They were buying the flowers I offered them. I used that money to buy more flowers, and over time, I built a thriving business." Final lesson. This story carries a powerful message. Our lives begin to transform when we change how we see ourselves. At first, the beggar saw himself as powerless and hopeless, but the moment he started giving value, the world responded. The rule of give and take isn't just about business. It's a life principle that creates growth, opportunity, and prosperity. When you give kindness, effort, or value to others, it always comes back to you. Remember, no dream is too big, and no situation is too hopeless. Believe in yourself, take bold action, and you can rise above any challenge, just like the beggar who became a successful businessman. If this story inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps me motivated to create more inspiring stories for you. See you in the next video.